from here, a little from here. Everybody knows what a chain looks like with all the links connected. So that's kind of what you're going for when you highlight. All right. And then the second thing, as a sort of a general rule, is the opposite of this. So this one is a do. This is what you're trying to do all the time. But there's another one that's a don't. And this is what a lot of people do all the time. And that is don't highlight entire sentences. Okay, when you highlight one sentence, and then you highlight the second one, and then you highlight the third one, it starts looking a lot like example number 2 there, which you're trying to avoid. Okay, and then the other one, which is my favorite aspect of this, those of you who raised your hand saying that you highlight, here's my strange question. When you open up a textbook and start reading, where is the highlighter? In your hand. Right? Why is it in your hand? I say, I'm reading. So, here's my tool, right? And I'm reading. That's the worst thing that you could ever do, and that's what 99% of all people do. So here's my little example of why that is. When I walk through the Success Center and the library several times a day, I always see students studying. And since I teach study skills, that makes me so happy when I see people studying. But every day that I'm at work, I see this at least one time. I'm walking by and I'm very nosy, so I just kind of look and watch what people are doing while they're sitting and studying, and I see at least one person do this. And when I see this, I can feel my blood pressure rising, and I want to go up and rip the highlighter out of their hand. And I wouldn't do that. That's rude, so I just walk by. But here's what it looks like. And some of you who highlight, if I could tape you, you'd look like this too, because I see this all the time. Let's say the book is right here so you know what I'm talking about. The person's like this. And when they get to the bottom of the page, it's like the sun is rising. It's like yellow or whatever color all the way down the page. And why is that? It's because when you highlight while you're reading, which is what almost everybody does, everything you're reading is new. And almost everything that's new seems important when you first read it. Ooh, 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 like that. And then you over-highlight. You go crazy with too much. So what do you do instead? You open up your textbook, you take this tool, which is really more of a weapon, and you put it down. And you sit and read, and then pick up the highlighter and try to make it look like the third example there. And if you think about it, this should make sense. You can always do a better job of highlighting after you've read something than while you're reading it, because after you've read it, you know more about it and you can make right choices about what's important. So the principle there, again, is while reading, put the highlighter down. Again, it's a weapon in your hands, and people make mistakes and way over highlight a lot. And by the way, in addition to this, there's one other thing I wanted to say about this, and that is, how much should you read with the highlighter down before you pick it up and start highlighting? Well, the answer is not 5 pages, 10 pages, a whole chapter, because when you go back after that, you can't even remember anything you read. Not good. So what I always try to tell students is usually just like 1 to 2 pages, maybe from one heading to the next, that kind of thing. Just read for a few minutes, then pick up the highlighter and start